Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of my Manchester United career on FIFA 14. Now I just want to say a quick thank you to you guys once again for your amazing support shown towards this series, whether it be smashing that like button or leaving your thoughts in the comments section below. So the more you keep doing it, the more I'm going to have that drive to keep posting these episodes for you brilliant supporters of this channel. So let's turn our attention now to what's recently been happening in my career mode save with United. My next game was against Nottingham, which you're watching right now. It was in the FA Cup, so there were no points on the line, just a place in the next round awaiting either Forest or Manchester United. On paper, it would be a Manchester United win, but it's never that simple, especially on FIFA. Now before I go any further, if you guys managed to catch my previous episode with United and watched it all the way to the end, you'll know that Daley Blind made his move to Old Trafford from Ajax for the sum of 4 million. This game against Nottingham Forest was his debut. He was fully fit and I was hoping to get the best out of him, and he had a cracking shot there. It was just unfortunate it went wide for him, but it's positive. It's a good start to his career at Manchester United. And speaking of transfers, you guys, once again, you've been amazing with your suggestions in the comments below of what I should be doing once the transfer window reopens. I have a pretty good idea with what I do want to do. I think Fabregas will be out. I mean, the majority of you guys have said, oh, get rid of Fabregas, so I think I'll do that, get a bit of money in as well, alongside my my actual transfer budget that I'll be given by the board. And so with that, I'll look to bring in Herrera, Luke Shaw, Vidal maybe, Yamat. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be a very busy transfer window for me, I think, this time around, trying to rebuild this team, because I have noticed as the season has gone on, and do keep in mind that I only signed 3 players in the summer just gone. That was Hummels, Vertonghen and Fabregas. My main focus in the summer just gone was to strengthen my defence. It needed to be done. But now as the season's gone on, squad depth, it's not as good as I would like it to be. So I think, well, I know signings are definitely needed in the summer. I need to bring in some top players that are capable of getting the job done without maybe Rooney in the side or even Van Persie, because the fixture congestion, I know I've gone on about it for the past couple of episodes now, it's just extreme. You have one game one day and then you have a day's rest and then you've got another game. It just goes on and there doesn't seem to be an end to it, so players are getting tired. And it's even worse when it comes to the experienced players in the team, like Rooney, like Van Persie, the older type players, like Carrick as well. It takes them something like 4 or 5 days to be fully fit. And so I'm having to rotate the team so much that it's hindering our performances. We're not picking up the results that we need, especially when it comes to the league. This season I wanted to be challenging for the title. Don't see that happening now. We've lost quite a few games, we've drawn quite a few, and we're starting to fall behind. Chelsea are pulling away. It's going to be hard, but I'm still fighting for that Champions League spot. That was another, if not main objective this season, is to get Champions League football for next season, because I haven't been in the Champions League at all. I wanted to make that challenge for myself this season, to fight for it with the team that I've got. So as you saw, managed to beat Forest 2-0, knock them out of the FA Cup. We're through to the next round, so that's good. Then I was just looking forward to having a bit of a break from club football and focusing on Holland. As you know, I'm the manager of Holland as well as Manchester United, and we had this international friendly against Bulgaria. I pretty much welcomed this international friendly with open arms. I was so appreciative of the break from club football. It was just one game after the other in the Premier League for Manchester United, so it was time to just sit back, relax. It didn't really matter what the result was against Bulgaria. Obviously a win's always nice, especially with you've got players like Robben in the side, Robin Van Persie, you've got Strootman. Top side Holland is, and as I've said before, I've got such a soft spot for Holland. Always have, always will. And it felt good to nudge Holland in the lead against Bulgaria. Goal by Robin Van Persie separated the two sides. Sweet finish, finesse shot, round the goalkeeper into the back of the net. Why can't he do that for me at United? Seriously, I haven't scored a goal with Van Persie now for a while with Man United. Hopefully it doesn't last too long and that I can break a duck. So my last game for Holland was a decent result. It was an international friendly again, but we managed to come away with a 4-0 win. And I think, didn't Robben get a hat-trick in that game, or he got 2 goals? I know he scored quite a few in that game. But that was a decent result. I was hoping for maybe the same in this one. But it was Berbatov, former Manchester United player, that put Bulgaria back on level terms. Even though Robin van Persie scored the first goal for Holland, I decided to take him off, thinking about Manchester United. I want him fit for our next couple of games coming up. So on came Huntelaar. It was the exact same change that Van Gaal made in real life in their recent fixture against Mexico, which saw them go through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. But the change, it just wasn't as successful as it was for Van Gaal in real life. Robben with a great chance there. Bulgarian keeper with a fantastic save, just keeping that at the back of the net and keeping the game at 1-1. And just look at this. Fair play to Stekelenburg. He saved the first shot, sticking his foot out. But, you know, I'm just hoping in FIFA 15 they haven't concentrated solely on visual effects and everything and just graphics. I'm hoping that they've concentrated on the gameplay too, because for me on FIFA 14 changing players, it just seems so slow and it does cause problems, as you saw there. Then if I had been able to change to Martin's Indy there, I probably could have stopped that from going in, but because I was having to go through almost every player apart from Indy on that pitch, it cost me that goal, and so Bulgaria picked up the win. Hopefully they sort something out for FIFA 15. Fingers crossed. But here is an example of my calendar. Look at this. You got Stoke on Sunday. Then on Tuesday you've got Cardiff. And then on Thursday I've got Fulham. And then on the Saturday I've got Swansea. And then we get a couple of days rest. And then we got Man City. But look at this again. It's just ridiculous. And then we've got Newcastle in the Capital One Cup final. Then 2 days later we got Villa on Wednesday. Then on the Saturday we got West Brom. And then on the Monday, it just doesn't seem to stop, does it? We've got Swansea, and then on Wednesday, 2 days later, we've got West Ham, and then 2 days later after that, we've got Crystal Palace, and then a day after that, we've got Liverpool. It just keeps going on and on. Thankfully, we've got an international break there with Holland. We've got to play Uruguay, and then South Africa. So, players could get a bit of a rest there, but it's just ridiculous. How are we supposed to be challenging for a title when players are going to be getting so unfit and looking tired and jaded? I don't know, but we just, obviously we have to get on with it. That's it. You can't do nothing about it apart from complain about it. I know I keep going on about it. I have done for the past couple of episodes, but it's ridiculous. It really is. I mean, you would never see that in real life. It's just so unrealistic. I promise in the next episode, if I remember, I will not go on about the fixture congestion, because obviously you don't want to keep hearing about it. You know about it because you actually play FIFA career mode, so I'm sure some of you guys have come up against it. I mean, just how are you supposed to get the best out of your players when they're just unfit? They're looking jaded on that pitch. I mean, FIFA is all about having fun, scoring as many goals as possible, but it kind of takes that away sometimes, I think, the enjoyment. But anyway, our next game was against Cardiff, as you've already seen on the calendar and the highlights that you're watching right now. It was an easy 2-0 win, 3 points to add to the league table. James Wilson getting on the score sheet, as you can see here. A beautiful through ball from Marouane Fellaini, finding James Wilson, and he finished that with a lovely finesse shot round the keeper. 2-0 to United. We did get another chance here. It was Kagawa, weak shot, too easy for Marshall. All those games as well that you saw on the calendar, I have to try and win every single one of those if I want to be lifting that trophy at the end of the season. And now with this win against Cardiff, picking up those 3 points, so crucial, because this is the start of our momentum. We need to keep it going if I want to be lifting the trophy. It's simple as that. If we lose, or I think getting away with 1 or 2 draws, you'll see here by the league table, we're on 24 games at the moment. We've got a couple of games in hand. I think we might be able to catch up with Chelsea if we win every single one of those games. We can't really afford to lose any more. We've lost 3 already in total this season. Chelsea have also lost 3, but we've drawn so many and dropped so many crucial points. It's sad to see, really. But anyway, to keep that momentum going, a win was a must against Fulham, and there is my starting 11, and you can see the effects starting to happen now, you know, with the rotation of the squad. Lindegaard comes in instead of De Gea, who was looking tired. Blind was in there as well, and so was Valencia down that right wing. for Mata. Now Fulham had a free kick, just over 10 minutes gone of the game, and what a save it was by Lindegaard. The ball was destined for the top left hand corner. I even thought it was going in, but Lindegaard just shifts across his line there and pulls that one out the bag. What an angle to see it from here now. Just look at Lindegaard fully stretched, just sticking out that hand and saying no. It then took me all the way up to the 75th minute to break the deadlock in this game, and substitute James Wilson got his second goal in 2 games to put United into the lead. And what a finish. What a finish. Such power behind that shot. Finding the top right hand corner. Too high for the keeper to save. Well, the keeper just stood there, as you'll see on the replay now. But James Wilson weaving in and out and eventually pulled that trigger and found the top corner. I'm just lucky the ball didn't end up in the Stretford end. But James Wilson with the assist for Valencia. And again, I was surprised that did actually find the back of the net. One of my favourite types of goals. Finesse shot on Valencia's weaker side. And he pulls that round the goalkeeper. Finding the bottom left hand corner. Extending United's lead to 2-0. Now with just seconds remaining. It was a misdirected header by Mats Hummels that allowed John Arnorisa to get a consolation goal for Fulham. There wasn't enough time in this game for them to at least draw level. So we managed to come away with a win. Thankfully, Valencia did get that goal to make it 2-0. Otherwise, we would have been coming away from Old Trafford with just a point. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this episode. Hope you've all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all very soon for the next one. Thanks for watching.